occasion, we launch of Taco, we might. My voice is loud.
Oh, is this the one?
There you are. Are you not in the house of God?
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
And also the Chancellor of this university, Dr. Joshua Banda, and recognize all your leaders of our church, this good church, cabinet colleagues that are present here, do recognize you, and indeed our central government colleagues, the rank and file, local government through the mayor, the city of Kitwe, and members of parliament that may be here, councillors, but really also partners. I noticed that Stanbic is here, they've spoken here, and other institutions, our men and women in uniform. We do recognize you, and really, I whispered to the bishop that the master of ceremony, I will have a pep talk with him. I was enjoying the gospel music here, and I saw him shoving them off quickly before I fulfilled myself of the message that is coming through gospel music. Very strong messages. Please pay attention when songs are being sung. You do learn a lot from there. I must also follow those that have spoken before me to acknowledge, I know Provincial Minister, I've already done that through the cabinet colleagues, but also to acknowledge any other colleagues that are seated in the hall, and I have not singled you out, so to say. Let me express, Bishop Banda, how delighted I am, how delighted we are, my cabinet colleagues. I spot the leader of the opposition there is sitting quietly, and others that are here. I must say that, Bishop, that we are encouraging, if you like, coexistence in this our constitutional democratic nation. So when I say what I say about members of parliament, other colleagues, I include those from UPND, those from the opposition, those who are independents. As you know, the mayor of the city of Kitwe is actually a PF mayor, and we work with her because that's the decision the voters of Zambia made in 2021 to bring this diversity. And we have no issues at all about those issues. I think that's the design of our constitutional democracy. And we're very happy with that. So I just wanted to make that point. Let me return to my message to say maybe that we're privileged, we're honored, my colleagues and I are honored that we can officiate at this very important function, really the issue around education, the Trans-Africa Christian University TACO, remodeling project, and the unveiling of the Pentecostal Assemblies of God, Zambia Strategic Plan 2024-2029. I want to say that this is no small feat for the church, for this university, this educational institution, to be working in an organized way. And I'm a lover of order myself. I know I get laughed at or ridiculed by my competitors, but it is very important to be organized, to be ordered. For Bishop Banda, for you to be launching a strategic plan, remodeling of what you do, we must really express our delight and support for this sort of way of working. Only order delivers orderly results. I think we deserve to give you a hand for that. So we're delighted to be part of this occasion. I did apologize to the Bishop and his leaders in the House that out there in the office when we had our meeting that we have come late to this important function. We were doing a lot of good things for the country. Today we have been able to sign for the country grant support to our country in the region of $600 million. That's what we've just done today. In the morning and the latter part of the day, and then rushed here because this is equally important. And as I've said that a strategic plan and remodeling, I have my compliance officer here, who is my special assistant compliance in State House, Joseph Lungu there, who understands the importance of working to a plan, which we drew before we took public office. And we're walking through that plan now. And his job is to remind me every so often, Mr. President, we need to pick up speed on that aspect of our plan, our vision for the people of Zambia, which we presented to the people to elect us into public office. So, again, Bishop and your team, mwabombeni mkwai. Mwabombeni mkwai. Thank you. Let me also just talk around education. Most of you now know that this fellow, this servant of yours, is passionate about education. Very, very passionate about education. Without the support many of us got to go to school, we would have never been even 5% of who we are today. I know about myself, I would have never been anywhere near the presidents of this country if I had not received education from the poorest of the poor in our country through free education under KK's time. So it is our duty to continue honoring education. As a church, appreciate what you're doing with this university, this institution. As a government, as a public affairs managers, education for this government, UPND, New Dawn government, sits at the center. This minister knows, Bishop Banda, the proportion of our budgets every year we put into education. Education, health, these two will be the largest, are the largest, because of our belief that education is the best investment. Education is the best equalizer. Children from Chamboli, from Chipulukusu, children from Chama, Chief Kambombo, my beloved Chief Kambombo, children from Kashinakash, children from Shangombo, are no different from the children of Ganaton, since we're in Kitwe, both of whom given an opportunity to go to school. No difference at all. Other things being equal. So this is the best investment, it's the best inheritance, it's the best equalizer. No contestation about that. So we want to congratulate the church, the early beginnings of this Bible college then, and then the university, 30 years ago, first degree program, which Bishop Banda, together with his team, designed. This is a commendable thing that the church is doing, and to bring this institution to where it is today, delivering skills, not to aliens from the moon, but to citizens of our country, performing a service that ordinarily the government must perform. Is that not something we must celebrate, colleagues? And I would hasten to say, Bishop, the remodeling, strategic plan, please consider more diversified skills offerings at this college. I think the bank colleague talked about financial literacy. But selfishly, I also want to encourage you and the leadership of this Taku University to consider also commercial subjects, other commercial subjects, because our citizens must be all-rounder. Yes, some will focus on pastoral work, missionary work. Here, training in those areas, like you did. But others must focus in other skill areas, because we do need a diversified skill portfolio for our country, economic needs of our country, social needs of our country, and also back I'll be interchanging the university and the church for the church also to continue carrying out its missionary work in an effective manner. In an effective manner. I don't want to delve deeper because it's a subject I like discussing in certain ways, taking certain angles, because we could be delivering missionary Christian, teaching Christian values in different ways, in ways that does not bring our country together. So like the church, Bishop, and your team, and all our fellow citizens that are in your 2,000 churches. I love numbers. You were telling me in the office, I picked this number, that they must continue evangelizing, doing their missionary work, anchored around bringing our people together, all made in the image of God. And a fellow like me has a reason to emphasize this point, because over years I got defined in very strange ways, like really I was a monster of some kind, who is a strange monster, who doesn't smile, doesn't laugh. I wonder how I proposed marriage to my wife, right? a monster who is a Satanist, who is something else. And my wife sometimes used to ask, do you do something in the night which I'm not aware? Why are people ascribing all these descriptions of you? And some of these descriptions were coming from churches, right? You're coming from, so from that line, I want to thank this church, Bishop, and encourage this church to continue teaching the true word of God, embracing all the children of God, right? All of them made in his own image, in God's image. I think that's the centrality of God's creation, is a human being, of all the creatures, of all the endowments that God created. At the center, he put Adam and Eve. He put us, descendants of Adam and Eve. And at that point, there's no color. At that point, there's no language, how we twist our tongues. There's no height. Really, there's no ethnicity. It's just children of God. So thank you, Bishop, and your team for continuing evangelizing through the church and through other platforms the true message of God. A message that I will talk about a little bit in a different angle, about love. So I did mention the issue of education, what this university is doing, what you intend to do, and selfishly asking you to, I'm sure you've done that already, to look at your syllabi, your courses, given that 30 years ago you were able to design a course, now you're doing many more things. And that you take in, to thank you also, you take in students from outside this church. Am I right? That's what you briefed me. That is wonderful. That's fantastic. Adventist Rusangu University witnessing a graduation ceremony. And I said exactly the same ways, that Rusangu University is a university not for the Adventists anymore. The design may have been that, but now you have 5,000 students there, and they're coming from all the denominations, coming from outside the country, and you are doing a similar thing there. We really want to thank you for that as well. I also decided that I would touch on one or two other things. What are those things? To share with you, in brief, being opportunistic, being here, being given this platform, which is hard to come by the way. If I'm the first sitting president to come to be part of such an assembly for the purposes that we're here for, the tackle, remodeling and strategic plan. So it's a rare opportunity. So let me use it to share one or two things of what your government is up to and how that connects with what this church is doing, what this tackle is doing. Just in small ways to put context to what you are doing and how what we're doing is intertwined with the church's own work. Through, again, this partnership. True partnership. If there's any working partnership that we can use, examples that are living, is the church, the government. Of course, other partners come in, traditional leaders. But since we're here in the church environment, the church and the government, true partners. All of them drawing from the same families. This church draws its bishops from the Banda family. This government draws ministers from the same families, from the same churches. You'll be surprised to know the largest number of cabinet, church in cabinet which leads in the number of ministers is the Catholic Church. It's the Catholic Church. But actually appointed by an Adventist president. Is that not good? And some are Pentecostals. Some are UCZ, some are, if you like, new apostles, and all, and sundry. So in this government, your government, our government, are children raised by this church. Very important. So let me very briefly put context to this partnership. Bishop Banda, your government set out to reconstruct the economy. Your government, our government, your government, our government set up to reconstruct the economy, to bring normalcy back to the country, to grow the economy. But the animal that stood amongst some in front of us was the debt. We defaulted in 2020. We acquired a debt, phenomenal debt beyond our capacity to service. And one of your key deliverables of your government was to restructure the debt. And we put up a project called the Zambia Debt Restructuring Program, or project. And I called it that this is a mission impossible, but together we shall achieve it. And I'm glad to stand here to tell you, by and large, we have achieved that debt restructuring, by and large. To put context to what I'm saying, had we failed to achieve the debt restructuring, by the way, under a global framework, the G20 framework, and many countries were in the queue. We came in August 2021, we jumped the queue. We are the first one, Zambia is the first one, to achieve the debt restructuring under the G20 framework and left behind a number of countries. The value of this is to basically restore the integrity of the country and the economy, to make the country now to be a partner in the global community as a worthy member of the global community generally, to improve our credit rating. It's already gone up. What else? When our credit rating improves, we will then raise financing at a slightly lower cost. Very important to Stanbic and to others and those who are in business in this hall. Bishop, I don't want to sing this song for too long, but let me put context. If we had not achieved debt restructuring, the whole of the 2025 national budget, $8.3 billion, would have gone to debt service. All of it. No money for free education, no money for agriculture, no money for health, no money for education, nothing. No desks would have bought, no CDF. All of that budget would have gone to debt service and would actually be short, would have needed more to raise more. That is the context. So I thought I should say to you, our partners, now we have a reasonable environment that we can use to mobilize resources. In your remodeling, in your strategic plan, you've given us a target of plus $2 million, more than $2 million. Am I right? The environment is better now to raise money, despite what the citizens feel. And I want to encourage all us who support the vision of this church, the teachings of this church, to come to the table. I want to say, Bishop, I put my hand up. I'm one of those who will come to the table to support that party. I'm one of those. I'm definitely one of those. I'll come to the table. And I want to challenge Stanbic. I want to challenge APSA. I want to challenge Zanaco. I want to challenge KCM, Mopani, Vamea, Garikwi Vamea. The mayor now is able to pay all the, where is she? There she is. She's able to pay the council retirement benefits because we have restored, please take your seats, because we have restored the mining assets that had gone in the wrong direction. Bishop, I wanted to use this platform to say Mopani is back, KCM is back, 28 Shaft is back. In addition, we have new mines since we're in Kopala. I must say I'm embarrassed, Bishop, because some young people are calling this place now Bali Belt. I'm very embarrassed. But now, what point am I making? Because of the debt restructuring, because of the various economic restructuring programs we put in place and measures, we have been able to bring back investors in the mining sector that had gone away. Mines that were down are now back. What does it mean? It means the environment now is much better than it was just 3 years, 6 months ago for you to implement your remodeling project and your strategic plan. That is the context I am bringing here. So are we not good partners then, if we can ease the work of the church? I could have continued, but I don't wish to. But I also want to remind the church that this government has brought back free education. And we want the church to use its influence, Bishop Banda, to drive the message that families must send their children back to school. All families must send their children back to school. And since we're in an educational institution doing different things, those who can go to university, we've increased, those who can go to university and college, we've increased the bursary. But those who can't, the skills training, we discussed in that office of yours. And this university and other training institutions you have, we would like them to draw on the CDF skills training window, which sponsors children who are not able to go to university. I'm putting context to what you called us here to do, why we are gathered here. Piecing sticks together, I believe, is very important. And I think it's easy to describe these things in that manner. So, CDF, Bishop, I said it in the room here, I repeat, CDF is a decision we made as one of our flagship programs. Debt restructuring, economic growth, yes, 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 education, health, energy issues. Happy to tell you that I think this drought is a wake-up call to us. The challenges we face under the drought, feeding the people, one, no one should die out of hunger. We're working very hard to do that. But on the other side, we're working hard to build resilience, including energy mix away from hydro alone, solars of this world. So we're working very hard in that area so that we can deal with those issues that affect day-to-day life of church members, of citizens of our country in all the parts of Zambia. So, but the context I want to put in CDF is that we decided to move money away from the center. Before, CDF was 1.6 million kwacha per constituents per year. What would you do with that money? Very little. We've grown CDF from 1.6 million to 25 million to 30 million, and next year to 36.1 million per constituents per year. Bishop, this is deliberate, is to move money away from the center. How does the center know the challenges of Chama? How clever are the people in Lusaka to know what Mazabuka, where you started a small church, needs most? And any other part, Kashinakash, my beloved places. They wouldn't know. How is it that for 57 years we thought that we at the center in Lusaka are cleverer than people in the outskirts of our country? That was wrong. So the fundamental reason we made this decision was to take money away from the center where it was most abused. Bishop, it was most abused in Lusaka, into the localities, the constituencies. And then the constituencies can decide on their priorities, important priorities, sequential, simultaneous priorities, very important. And we want to send a message to the church once more, that that money belongs to communities, including the Pentecostal assemblies of God and other churches. So I encourage your leadership across the country, in all the districts, wherever they are, to access CDF facilities where they are for the needs of the communities. In the room there, I said, your church, our church, in an outpost in Mwinilunga. They need a borehole, and they need to reticulate a borehole. One of your schools needs a borehole. One of your health facilities. Why should they not draw on the CDF to put a borehole there and the solar, and so they can reticulate the water? Who will be using that water? It's members of the church. Who are they? Citizens of Zambia in Mwinilunga. That is the reason. So please utilize this facility and many other government facilities. Minister of Technology is here. We're doing quite exciting things. Internet, Starlink, we can now communicate to any part of Zambia at a minimum cost through the technological changes we've brought. So let me not belabor the point. I think I have made the context I wanted to make with what the church is doing, what your government is doing in the service of our people, improve the lives of our people. So Bishop, to me, to us, this is really an opportune time to raise these issues. And I want to say to you, let us work together even more. A lot more things we can do together. Let us love each other. Let us work towards uniting the people of Zambia and not dividing it. Using peace, security, stability, love, unity as a platform to drive development. We Antanshi, Zwelopili, Bukomo, Chitukuko, Lusumpuku. In the church, using that platform love, security, stability, unity, to implement your strategic plan. Unity starts in this church, within this church. Then we can exude it to other churches. We can exude it to the constituencies, the districts, the provinces, and the nation. Simple. That's how it works. It's not a thing that sits somewhere. It's within us. I also want to say, to use this opportunity, we must encourage our people, Bishop, to work hard. I did notice in the years past that we began to create wrong impressions that young people can be successful without working, without making an effort. This is destructive, absolutely destructive. And part of the challenges we have as a government now in 3 years is to remodel our population, Bishop. We have our own remodeling project and work to realign them to an understanding that they need to do something gainful, and the opportunities we're working hard to deliver, CEC, CDF, loans, FISIP, and also credit window, working with the banks so that we can avail opportunities for our people to work. We give our people an opportunity to work. First, the young ones to go to school. That's why there's free education. They get a skill. Then to be able to do something gainful. I'm very pleased I was opening the Super Pit in Lumwana, a project under this government, $2 billion. And Bishop, if you looked at what they call dump trucks there, one dump truck to look at where the driver is seated is up there, and it's 300 tons. When you look at that mine, it's monstrous. But they have a training school. Amongst the people they're training is women who, when I went to open the mine, were driving 2 of those dump trucks, young women, our citizens. So that is what I call gainful engagement and projecting that we want to improve our lives. We have to learn to work. Inside the churches, the Board of Trust, in the ministries, we have to learn to work, teach people to work. So I'm asking the church to continue evangelizing and teaching our young people, our population, that work is the way to go. Even the Bible is very clear. Those who don't want to work, who don't work, must not eat. So we want to encourage, working with you as our partners, to remodel our society back to work, and more work after work. That is really the call we are making. And also, Bishop, to ask our people to make a distinction between public resources and private resources. I will not disclose. Bishop whispered something to me in the office. It's for us to discuss. First, public resources, private resources. All of us in public office must know that what belongs to the public is for the people of Zambia. It's not for us to take as president. What belongs to us, is ours. We can do what we want with it. But with public resources, we cannot do what we want with it. We must do what the people of Zambia want with those resources. Indeed, I'm quiet. Very important. So again, the church comes handy. The fight against corruption is very important and must not be misunderstood to mean something else, to mean divisive, to mean selective. No. Past, present, future. If you follow this president, sometimes you don't feel it. We have taken out people we appointed in jobs because we felt that they are not living up to the principles of respecting what is for the people. We take what is for the people, we are denying a child a desk in school, so the children sit on the floor. What sort of people are we then? So that's where the church and us must work even harder together. Raising children that will be decent citizens, that will be hard workers, that will love others, that will respect others, different from them by physical features, as I said earlier, but they're children of God. and they deserve to be loved. I want to hold hands with the church, this church and other churches, in this aspect, as it is in many other aspects. I already talked about missionary work, which is important. And Bishop, I have said enough. I have said enough, colleagues. I want to congratulate the Pentecostal Assemblies of God, Bishop, under your leadership and your team, on this momentous occasion, relaunch of TACU, remodeling.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.